Good evening. From Bombay Beach, it's Kevin LiT with KRAP. What you're seeing here, for lack of a better name, is known as the SHIG, S-H-I-G steps. This artist who passed away almost 3 years ago named SHIG did a lot of metal art around here, which I've shown you in some of my past videos. He created these steps, and till at least 2 years ago, even beyond that first step was right on the shoreline, and all these were in the Salton Sea, and it was kind of fun to walk out on these, do like a balancing act, and see how far you could go into the Salton Sea without falling in. I would often go to like almost the end step and kind of stand like this. I'd have to stay really still. I put my camera on a remote, and I would take a picture of the Milky Way behind me on a nice moonless night. But as you can see right now, these things, the Salton Sea is way back there. It's hard to tell from the perspective that I'm shooting this video at, but I mean, it's a good 200 or 300 feet back now. That's how quickly the Salton Sea is drying up. Interestingly enough, SHIGs put these in the water as a gauge to gauge the receding Salton Sea. And at the time, eventually that step would be out of the water, then this step, then it would jump maybe a couple, maybe where I'm standing would be the water's edge. You had to go a little bit further. As you can see now, it's all the way out of the water, and it's way out of the water. So yeah, let's give you another perspective. Like I said, these were all in the water, designed to gauge how quickly and how much the Salton Sea had receded. Let's go to the final step. Now there you can see just how far out, man. But yeah, look at that, all that empty space between the steps and the Salton Sea. Yeah, we're starting to have a sunset. I was almost going to take the boat out. It's not exactly rough water, but it's getting a little breezy, and I like it when the water's super glassy. So let's move on to the next scene. This is a memorial to an amazing woman named Carol who passed away a couple of years ago. Just like I'm now living on the beach, she lived in a tiny little tent trailer at this location before she passed away. Pirate Mike and a bunch of people have done this amazing tribute to her. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. I mean, look at this, the attention to detail, and this is all really nicely lit up at night too. Starting to get a nice sunset over there. But yeah, her camper trailer was right about here. It's since been removed, but this is an amazing tribute to her, to Carol. With that amazing view of the Salton Sea and the sunset. Rest in peace, Carol. And now the famous crane. This thing's been here forever. This used to be this was actually my early camping spot. When I first started coming here in 2008, the water was much higher than it is now. In fact, the water, it started getting muddy. Let's move me out of the way. It was getting muddy over by that light pole that you see right there. And then the water line wasn't too far below that. But yeah, look at this old crane. I believe this was used to raise and lower boats into the marina. It's always been, I think, kind of muddy at the Salton Sea, and the water level has always historically fluctuated to some degree, just not so crazy much as now. And let's go over to the pyramids. Now, I was mentioning SHIG's steps. These pyramids were created about 1.5 years or so ago. These were created as a tribute to SHIG. He obviously didn't build these, but these were built in his style. Apparently, he had created a tiny little model of these two pyramids side by side. And some people decided, this would be a great tribute to him. So, yeah, these things are amazing. I've done some night photography here. It's been a couple of years. Might get back to doing it, but yeah. Metal, they were wood framed and then covered in metal. Cool little spot. not too far from the crane and not too far from Carol's Memorial. This, I think the name of this installation is pretty obvious. The Diva Station of the Sea. I don't know, am I a diva? Kind of a cool little spot to just chill. I mean, sometimes it's been a little while, but sometimes I've taken my usual breakfast selfies here. Just kind of a cool little spot to chill. Yeah. Here, I'm just sitting on the dock in Bombay. Sometimes, a lot of times, I'll be watching dust storms go by. But it's relatively calm tonight. Just a gentle breeze. So, I believe this was built by Keith as well. He's done a lot of the wooden and wood palette art out here, like the confession booth, the ski-in 2, the porch view, also the open house. Most people just know it as the door that's closer down by the water by my camp. The door was originally green, and then it was yellow for a little while, and it's back to green. I'll show that. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I'll show that next in this episode. Okay, last but not least, for this episode, there's so much more art to cover. And I know some of you that put art out here are like, you're right over by such and such. Don't worry, I'll be covering your art in the near future. This is known as the Open House by Keith, same artist that did a lot of the wooden art out here. Anybody there? I mean, it is literally an open house. Nice view of the swing, the cube, and of course the shoreline. But yeah, I might put some chaser lights on this that come on after dark. Let me see if I can trigger them. Yeah, you can kind of see them in the video, but not quite. But yeah, it's really cool. I mean, it's literally a very open house. You get a paddle boat. You get a paddle boat. Everybody gets a paddle boat. Eventually, if we get the dock back in the water, which should happen this fall, we might actually start taking these paddle boats out on the water again. It's just water line's too far away. See, we got a nice afterglow, which is what you call the period after the sun went down, but there's still nice color in the sky. So I'm just going to sit here and enjoy the sunset for a little bit. And this wraps up tonight's episode, July 14th, 2025, Bombay Beach Report with Kevin LiT. Thank you for watching. And I got to talk like a true YouTuber, and don't use your finger and tap on it or use your mouse and click on it. But when you see those like and subscribe buttons, smash those like and subscribe buttons. Remember, you got to smash those like and subscribe buttons. And again, thanks for watching.